Hey everybody, welcome back to another Chippa in the third person video log on my way to work on Wednesday. It's the 31st of July 2019. Tomorrow I'm going to see Iron Maiden for the first time at the Xfinity Center in, where is that? That's down past Foxborough, Rentham-ish area. I forget the name of where the Xfinity Center is, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. Used to be the Tweeter Center, Comcast Center, Great Woods, it was called back in the day. It's a pretty cool concert venue, outdoor amphitheater kind of thing. Absolutely horrible to get in and out of. The traffic's going to be insane. So even though I've never seen Iron Maiden before, I think I can, since I hear they play a pretty long-ass show, I'm pretty sure I can forgo the encore in order to not spend 3 hours in traffic and actually get home, so I'm not home at like 2 in the morning on a school/work night. But either way, I'm really excited. Going with Dennis, my buddy Dennis, who's my cousin Jackie's husband. He's from New York. You guys, anyone that saw the video from my wedding of me singing Home by Philip Phillips, Dennis was the guy playing the guitar in that video. He's one of my best friends, and psyched he's coming all the way out from New York so we can see Iron Maiden together. I think he's seen them at least twice already on this tour, so he's a huge fan, and so it'll be great. It'll be absolutely great. So those of you that have been following along, I've been finally watching Black Mirror, the playtest, the horror episode, the survival horror was very, very cool. But I just finished San Junipero, and like I've said before, Black Mirror, man, I love it. It elicits such a deep emotional response in me. It leaves me so fucking broken by the end of every episode. And I gotta say, I'm really happy with San Junipero that they finally made an episode that outright has a very, very, very emotionally happy ending without any, outside of like the repercussions of thinking about what the technology of something like that, let's basically make a computer program VR world that is heaven that you can pass on to. And so goddamn happy for the characters in it that it took them a really long time to fully do that. I mean, they've had other episodes that have ended good for the characters. I mean, Striking Vipers, we talked about before, it's breaking ground into a new frontier of territory. Can you have a relationship in this game and also not affect your relationships that you've already established in real life? And can those be mutually, connected and okay with each other? But it's still a little bit like weird, like the wife's still out at bars, trying to pick up random dudes while her husband's at home having this relationship in the game. So is she still kind of left wanting? Is she still kind of left hurt by it? I'm not sure. The show doesn't let you see that, but I can only imagine that what happens afterwards in San Junipero is just forever happiness. I mean, yeah, we have a character that's established that, her daughter who passed away and her husband never, didn't get the chance or didn't decide to get the chance to pass on to this place. So she was a little bit upset, but at the same time, the letting go of that and accepting that, I'm still here, I get to be happy too. They would have wanted me to be happy. Especially, with Yorkie, the paraplegic character who's never known love, and only knew hate and got this second chance. It's just such a wonderfully happy thing. Thanks, Black Mirror, for making me happy. Didn't expect that. I've heard there's far less happy episodes than there are sad ones. I mean, that is the brand. But it was cool. It was a really cool episode. I really dug it. So I was thinking this morning about something else. You guys, I guess this must have been something that kind of died with me being a kid, because this was pre-email fan clubs, email lists, things like that. But when I bought the album Offspring Smash, it couldn't have been longer than like in the first 10 albums I ever bought on CD. I had a bunch of cassettes and stuff before them, but I was 8 years old, got a CD player, and it was a GPX, like tape deck, radio, CD player. I think GPX might have been an off-brand of RCA. Could be. Kind of like seemed hip, seemed more cool. But I loved the thing. My dad got it for me, and he took me to the store to buy a CD. And the first CD I ever bought was Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell. I had the record. My dad gave me, he had duplicates of his records. And I had a Stars on 45, disco-ish multi-record, a couple of Beatles albums, a Billy Joel album, and Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell. And so my first CD I ever bought was Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell 2. I remember because it was an EMI or BMI or one of those brands that didn't do any funky, press-on cool cover art for the actual CD. It was just the silver CD with just the black text, Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell. And then the next album I bought off of that was Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. Then it was probably the Beatles' Double Blue album. I bought the red one from my dad and bought me the blue because he liked the earlier stuff. I was more into when I was younger, the weirder phase of the Beatles, so the Rubber Soul Onward kind of stuff. Maybe that says a lot about my psyche, I don't know. But I got that. And then somewhere in there I bought Offspring Smash. And, 8 or 9 years old, absolutely, it was, I didn't realize I was, building up like this hipster kind of music thing, but at the time, and again, do I still feel this way about Offspring Smash? I think it's a great, that pop punk kind of album. Is it like the best album ever made? No, but at the time, to me, that was the best thing. And I, would say, I can listen to it start to finish without turning it off. Every song's great. And I saw a thing that I was at the right age for it, but I never really saw, hey, join our fan club. And so I wrote this long, multi-page letter to the Offspring, knew the names of all the members of the band, the Offspring, right? Like who, it's very weird to think of in afterthought, but at the time I was a 9-year-old kid and I really liked this band. And I drew the cover art to the album on the envelope with the skeleton, and I got this really cool letter. So I was in the fan club, and I used to get, they were like a postcard style with a long thing, and it was all really immature and it would say hey, punk rocker, and stuff like that. But I loved it. You know what I mean? And it meant a lot to me because it felt like I was connecting. And do we have that anymore? I mean, I imagine they do it via email, but that connection, that physically holding something, putting it in a box under your bed, I'd love to go back and be able to find them. But wouldn't it be hilarious? The only band in my life that I ever got such fanboyish about was the goddamn Offspring, who I've never seen live. I should remedy that for sure if they ever come around again. But that's that. So just a funny thought I was having. I'm at traffic at the exit for work because that's how life is. This is exit 31B for Route 4, Route 225, Bedford, Carlisle. 20 miles away from my house. Takes me about an hour to get here. Lost it. On that note, this has been the Chippa. I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.